Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans and pets of all ages.
I look like I just crawled out of a cocoon, dude.
I told you did.
Exhausted.
I was like, do you need like a little hot cocoa or like what's going on here?
I totally need. Yo, yesterday, I bought a hot cocoa bomb from Target.
What's a hot cocoa bomb?
It's just a Wonder Ball with marshmallows in it, and you put it in the hot milk, and then.
Why don't you just put that? You know, when back in my day, I put the choco powder in my drink, and it like exploded into my face.
Yeah, but I want to make life complicated.
I mean, that's all of us. We make, as human beings, I feel like we are determined to make life as complicated as possible for ourselves.
It's to give ourselves meaning in this meaningless world that we have established for ourselves as a human race.
Is that what it is? No.
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Good to know. Good morning and welcome to C&B Live, your unfiltered Lego podcast. Back after a little small hiatus because this guy's been traveling and my health has been traveling as well. I guess. I don't know. There was some kind of analogy there, but it just didn't work out very well. But we are back and we are live for you all here on YouTube on this Wednesday. And very happy to be back. I'm like excited. I look forward to this show every single week. And then I feel awful when we don't get to do it. Like I feel like something's missing out of my life. Brian doesn't feel that way. I feel that way. It's like a hole in my heart when I don't get to spend time with Brian on this show.
When you don't put the show on your weekly schedule, which is, by the way, my general indication of whether or not we're doing a show, is I look forward to on Sunday evening or Monday, Sunday evening, and then it's just one less thing for me to do. Right. I can spend that time doing literally anything else. So, including apparently just sleeping and cuddling up with a hot cocoa, which is, I guess, that's fine by me.
Do you have slippers on?
No, I don't wear slippers. I'm a socks guy.
You look very slippery right now. I mean, not like moist, but like, like a slipper person.
I watched, not pertaining to slippery or moist, I watched the Disney's Christmas Carol last night. Definitely big slipper energy on Scrooge, Jim Carrey Scrooge there.
Wait, Disney's Christmas Carol?
Yeah, it's Jim Carrey as Scrooge.
Oh, that
all CGI.
One. That was Disney?
Yeah, it's a Disney movie. I was not too much of a fan of it. It's very slow.
I didn't realize that was Disney. I thought that was like a DreamWorks Robert Zemeckis something or other. Like I just didn't.
It might have been a 20th. I mean, it played the Disney intro and it had the the little Disney tagline in the title. I don't know.
That's okay. All right.
Feels like
are you getting into the holiday spirit? Express. Like I know this has been a thing with you that no holidays until after the turkey bird is.
No, I'm a Christmas guy. I just haven't decorated really the house. Like I'm trying to figure out which decorations I really want. I went to Target yesterday. I got a really nice winter display. I got to take a picture and show you guys on the living room of all my winter stuff. But I'm trying to figure out what decorations I want without it looking like, I don't know, tacky. And like this is the room. This is the room that will explode with vivid color for Christmas, right? But like out there, I'm like, all right, how can I try to try to look like an adult?
I feel like Christmas, I don't know. In my mind palace, Christmas is a get out of jail free card when it comes to all the tackiest decorations you could possibly put up in your home. You know what I mean? Like I've got and old decorations too, right? Like you keep Christmas decorations are those decorations that you keep way beyond their lifespan, that they should not even be out there. I've got an old, from when I was a kid, Brian, an old animatronic like Mickey and Minnie thing that like they're like two separate like statues that like move, and they're supposed to play music and like move. Well, I plugged Minnie in this year, and it it just started screaming at me. Like it was just the entire time. And it wasn't even the movements that was doing it. It was just coming out of the speaker of it. And no matter how much I turned it down or what, like the sound was just there. Like the volume button just didn't work anymore. And that was my life. Like, so I was like, well, Minnie's done. Minnie's dead. So I cut the power cord off of Minnie. Mickey, man, he still works, but it's like, he's like this slow moving. He doesn't creak. It's really silent, which is make it even more creepy. But it's one of those things that you see him in, like out of your like, right? You're just walking through the living room and you see, and you're like, did that Mickey just move? Like it's that kind of thing. And it's like this weird Chucky doll vibe right now. The wife hates it. The wife absolutely hates these two things, like sitting on our fireplace, right? Just because all of a sudden Mickey just kind of goes, shh. And she's like, that son of a gun moved. I saw it happen. So I don't know. I feel like Christmas gives you that free reign to just go nuts, go tacky, just make Christmas just explode all over your home, Brian. Live it up. Let it out. Live it up.
I'll do my best, man. I'll do my best.
But listen, we are happy to be back, and we want to remind you guys that, hey, we're live typically asterisk whatever every week. Allegedly every week for your viewing and listening entertainment. And I do say listening because don't forget, there is a podcast version of this, an audio version of this that is available.
This is a podcast. Like podcasts are designed to be listened to.
Right. Listen to. But then if you tune in with us live on YouTube, you get the visual element of looking at Brian in his jammies.
And the exclusive post show, not pre-show now. It's a post show. One of the many changes we're making as we head into 2025, but more on that next week.
Y'all don't want, listen, the first 10 minutes or so of next week's episode, you don't want to miss it. We've got big announcements to be making for you guys to start next week's episode. So be here live on YouTube, 11 a.m. Eastern. Do not miss out on next week's episode. And plus, give you a little tease, we're going to be talking about your Black Friday buyer's guide. We're gonna allocate money to Brian and I. We're gonna say, okay, you've got Brian. I'm gonna give you $1,000.
What a generous CMB
I'm gonna
Christmas.
Give Brian $1,000.
Thanks, man.
To go buy some Lego, and I'm curious to see what he picks up with his $1,000. But that's happening next week, so do not miss out on next week's episode.
But, Zach, you know what happened this week?
What happened this week?
I went to Canada to a little convention. Canadian land. I went to Canada. Yes, I did. I went to a convention called Bricks and the Six, which happens to be our first topic this afternoon, morning. And I was there throughout the weekend, left on Wednesday, came back on Monday. I drove a nice 8.5 hours there and back, all the way through Albany, New York. First time crossing the border by car. And luckily, any of my apprehensions I had about doing that were right out the window. Obviously, those Border Patrol agents on both sides were very indifferent to my Legoing adventure. They just let me go through. So it's totally. I don't know what I was going to expect, but yeah.
I was curious about that. So how does that work? Did they as an American coming through, do they like really say you have to leave, right? Like you can't stay here forever.
Yeah, they asked where are you going? How long are you going for? Going into Canada, she asked me what my driver's license plate number was, which, could I recall it on any given day? Maybe not. But then like my instinctual nature kicked in and I'm like, I think. And, asked if I had anything to declare, which is typically alcohol, food, anything that could be like out of the country. Right. And I'm like, no, I'm bringing anything. And
Did
you just
you
let me
declare
go.
the hat?
I did not declare the hat. And then on the way back in the U.S. side, The gentleman was like, residency? And I said, Massachusetts. And he's like, what country do you live in, Brian? And I said, United States of America. Because I'm like, I don't know what so
I would curious, like, how much of a smart aleck should you be with Border Patrol? Because I would have just
not
pointed
at
and
all.
went,
Are you kidding me? Not even a little bit. So I said,
that
United
one over
States
there.
Of America. United States of America. I rolled down my back window, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I was at a Lego convention. I got my Lego, my suitcase, plush toys. What I got?" And he's like, "All right, get out of here."
Yeah, they'll let you back in. They'll let you back in. I was just curious if Canada was worried about you actually leaving at all. Because see, I think if I went to Canada, I think I would find a way to stay. I would find one of our fun Canadian friends to adopt me, and I think I would just hang out and stay in Canada.
Well, they can track you, and I'm sure there's like some means they would get a hold of you and like, hey, you haven't left the country in a month. Like, why are you still here?
I'm busy. I'm busy doing things. That's what I would say. Yeah. I don't know if that would work, but that's what I would say. So you went up to Canada for Bricks in the Six. Now, I have absolutely no reference for this. Is it considered a convention, or what's it considered?
Yes, it totally is.
Okay, so what is this? What is it?
It is the largest Lego convention in Canada. Now, admittedly, there's only a small handful because Canada is pretty spread out across, all the different provinces. So this is the biggest one. There was a turnout of, I want to say like 5,000-6,000 public attendees and then 250 AFOLs. So it was a pretty sizable amount of people that showed up. And it is run by Mr. Graham Diamond, who we both know from the TwitchCon experiences that we have had. And I've gotten the chance to collaborate with him on a bunch of other stuff. And so he was the guy that helped bring the Pro Gamers Guide Mosaic to life with the parts and whatnot, because he is a Lego certified professional and there's all sorts of projects he can lend a hand with. So, he said, Brian, you got to come up here at some point. We'll give you a spot for Pro Gamers Guide, and Bricks O'Brien be up there. We'll put you in the activity room so you can, build a mosaic and engage the public and whatever. And so with some help with accommodations and a free spot to kind of chill in for the weekend, how could I say no and try a convention in Canada for the first time ever? And it went. So it was a full-blown Lego convention with a place for exhibiting. You had exhibitors out in the hallway with their displays, just like a brick world, just like a brick fair. There was an entire room dedicated to vendors, which the local brick shop being one of them, of the vendors in that room, got to hang out with him pretty much all weekend, shared many meals with him, and he's obviously good people, along with Rounded Triangle and many others. So, and then I was in the activity room along with another author and the Legoland Discovery Center. We were, where you drop off the kids, get the energy out of them, and then you leave for the day. So it was a full-blown Lego convention. And yeah, that's what it was.
So I didn't realize this was the first year you had gone. What was your overall comparison to some of the other ones? Because you've done a lot of these kinds of things. So what was your comparison to those?
I could see if you are exclusively Canadian, you don't plan on going to any other shows in America, you are wanting a place to meet your people, display your stuff. Bricks in the Six is a place to do it. You get to connect with a bunch of different, like they have all the different activities that another convention would have. Here's your set draft where you can, 9 people have the same set, part it out, take the pieces. There's the brick mazing race where there's different activities people can do. There's a lot to keep you busy. As an American driving 8.5 hours to get up there, it's a very special circumstance for me because I know Graham. I know a lot of the people that are there. Would I go to this convention if I didn't know anybody there? If it were, totally disassociated? No, because it's nowhere near close to me. So why would I? It is a good convention if you are anywhere within a 3-hour vicinity, I would say, to make the drive at least for the day or stay locally, get a chance to meet people. But Yeah, I was just a special circumstance in
Right.
this
But
way.
it seems like it's more of that local or regional kind of area, like bring those people in as opposed to, we've talked about this when we've talked about Brick World. Like people come from all
All
over
over the world, literally.
globe, right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't kind of scratch that itch for people. It's kind of got its
No,
own niche that it fits in.
no. Part of the excitement of one of my days was leaving halfway through the day to take Graham's credit card and go to Canadian Tire to buy extension cords because I've never been to Canadian Tire, so it kind of breaks up the day. I'm very glad I had my car with me. By the way, that's always a plus. I think
Sure.
just having it in general is great.
Why is it called Bricks in the Six? What's like?
I believe because the Toronto area code is the 615,
Okay,
something like that. Yeah.
don't don't quote him on it though, because we're not. It sounds like we're not 100% sure here. So don't.
No, it's 416. There we go. Thank you, Mike. But yeah, that's why. So it is just outside of Toronto in Mississauga, which I believe is west of Toronto.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. I was still trying to. I was on the Google machine this morning, Brian, trying to figure out why it was called that, and I couldn't come up with it. So I know people have a reason why they call things what they call them. I couldn't figure that out. If there's one takeaway, one thing that somebody should do when they go to this particular convention, what is it? What is that one thing? What is that one thing you want them to make sure they don't miss?
You don't want to miss the opportunity to connect with people. And that can be said for really any Lego convention, but comparing, this to a Brick World is very overwhelming with the amount of people that are there. And what Graham really takes pride with Bricks in the Six is that you can have a brief conversation with everybody. It has not grown to the point where it is so overwhelming. It is profitable. It is having room to grow. It is not stagnant, but it is still in the point, only a couple years in where they're trying to find their footing and figure out those systems and whatever. So if you want to get to know people in a more intimate setting, this is a place to do it. And if you want to be involved as a coordinator, a volunteer, or whatever, this is also a place for you to do that as well. It's a really good opportunity to get your basics down of what a Lego convention could entail before this show continues to grow, which it will, and before you commit to a brick fair or a brick world in that way.
And some people, it was one of the bits of feedback that I heard a lot after something as large as Brick World was some people really enjoy the intimacy of the smaller conventions and shows, right? Gives people an opportunity to actually communicate and have conversations and not feel like they're shoulder to shoulder with people trying to look at some of the amazing creations that people have made and everything like that. So it's I don't know. It's it's pick your flavor, right? And chat's saying that Toronto is typically called the Six because of the six municipalities. And so that now it's starting to make sense. Okay. All right.
Dude, let me tell you, I felt like a filthy American being like, how much is this Monopoly money worth in freedom dollars? I don't know. Like, basically you go to Tim Hortons and a coffee is like $3 something. It's basically free in American money. And I'm like, all right, I can have some garbage coffee for free. Awesome. Great. But I tried being as, aware of, like, that was the biggest challenge. One of the biggest challenges for me was like always converting in my head, talking in kilometers and Canadian dollars. And the weekend for me personally was a lot of learning in many, 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 many ways pertaining to Pro Gamer's Guide, myself personally in life. Like it was a massive learning experience. So I'm grateful for that from that standpoint. But next time I'm flying, I'm not driving 8.5 hours. I'm good. I'm gonna fly.
And just rent a car when you get there, so you still have a.
No, I'd bum a car off of Nick. I'd bum his car and be like, "Hey, man, you're gonna take me
Yeah,
to
look at that, ladies and
a
gentlemen. We have a
chalet."
professional mooch on our
Yeah,
hands here.
absolutely, dude. When Nick was here, I picked him up from the airport and drove him to like a dinner and around Boston. Like, yeah, that's what you do when you're friends with people. All right, Zach. I know that might be a
Hey,
little
no.
new
Listen,
for
I
you,
have generously, lent my car out to friends and family, and I've had that burn me because of accidents and whatnot. It is now a rule in my soul that I do not loan out a vehicle to.
no, I don't. I don't mean loan out the vehicle. I just mean like pick them up and like
You said you bummed a
drive
car
them.
off of Nick.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Bum a ride. Bum a ride off of
Oh,
Nick.
okay. Have him chauffeur you around. I got you.
No, I wouldn't drive his car. No, never. Because insurance, never, ever. No way. No way.
Yeah. Gotcha. Uber and Nick, Brick and Uber. I don't know what you would call it. Just tip him well. That's all I'm going to say. I am curious though, if you guys want to, especially if you're watching after the fact, if you post in the comments, if you guys do prefer more of the smaller Lego conventions, or if you like the bigger, showier brick worlds of, of the AFOL world. I'm curious which camp people tend to fall in. I have not yet personally experienced a smaller, intimate Lego convention. I'm hoping to in 2025. But
Rick Slopes is teeing up to be that in some ways, but more about that in 2025.
Yeah, there you go. Brick and Trip. Exactly. Brick and Trip. Well, I'm glad
Bender, there's a reason we come up with the brand names and you don't.
I'm glad you made it back safe and sound, because Brian, you made it back just in time for some amazing Lego Insiders weekend.
Hey, you know what's awesome?
Extravaganza. He went.
You know what's awesome?
Yeah.
You know what's really awesome, Zach, is I just bought this as we have all these promos that get announced literally for like a week from now. So
you were this close. You were this close to perfection, and you pulled the trigger. Here's my question. It's still in the bag.
Mad.
It's still in the bag. You still have a receipt. Why don't you just take it back today?
Oh yeah, my buddies at the store will probably be like, because I mean, with some cases you can do that and be like, all right, we'll just give you the, because you'd have to return it and bring it back, like just
You think they'll just go back and give you the points somehow? Is that possible?
No, they'll give me the things. They'll give
you all the stuff. All the
Maybe.
stuff.
To be honest with you, I don't want any of these. I just give them all away. But
that's the thing, though. It gives you the opportunity. Like we've talked about this ad nauseum about gift with purchases, is that majority of us don't care about them. Majority of us won't even build them. But it's the fact that it's free to something that you're already going to buy. That's just the icing on top of the cake, right? That's the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake, right? Like that's what it is. And for those of us in a social sphere like what we have, it does allow us an opportunity to potentially give them away to people that would really, really appreciate them, that aren't in a financial position, number one, to go out and spend $130 to $150 to $250, whatever, to go buy a Lego set to get that particular thing. So I still applaud and thank Lego for providing these opportunities for these gift with purchases to people that are able to do it. But that being said, boy, their timing sucks, man. It's so strategic, and it just God, it just kicks me right in the tuchus, man. The Insiders Weekend is kicking off on the 23rd to the 24th of November here, right before Black Friday, right before all of this stuff happens. Now, if you look at history, especially recent history, there's a good chance that these same GWPs will be available during the Black Friday extravaganza. So your Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even into Monday. If they don't sell out, here's the caveat to that. some of these, especially that record player, these things are sick, dude. And I feel like some of our AFOL friends out there are salivating over possibly getting these. So when you combine that with the double points, the double insiders points for those 2 days, the 23rd to the 24th, I can see people this year specifically pulling the trigger on some of these supposedly retiring sets, getting them this weekend, getting the points, and walking away with those GWPs to where maybe they're not available during the Black Friday weekend.
Do we even know what's on sale? Do we even care?
They haven't announced what's on sale yet.
I think there's going to be nothing. Hot take opinion. I think nothing's going to be on sale.
Disagree. I don't think there's anything going to be on sale during this Insiders weekend. I think everything is going to be, I think all of these retiring sets, I think you're going to see 20, 30, even probably, well, not above 30. I don't think we'll go above 30. I think 30 will be the top money off on some of these retiring sets. And I'm really expecting to see some of these sets that we've been looking at over the last year, like the Hoopty, like the X-Jet, that have just been astronomically priced. I think those are going to be in that camp of 30% off for Black Friday.
I remember seeing on here somewhere on the Lego website, they said something to the effect of, Black Friday isn't always about sales. Take a look at our exclusive promotions. And I think that was their way of saying, hey, we're not having stuff on sale, but we have all these gifts and things you can get instead.
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. I think we're still going to get, stuff. And it also goes beyond just the sets too. A lot of those AFOLs out there, they're all about the pick-a-brick lineup, and there's a lot of pieces, thousands of elements that are retiring at the end of this year. So people are going to be looking at those as well, and I don't think those will necessarily be on sale, but I think you'll find some sets out there, especially in the retiring camps, just to offload. I think there's a good chance the advent calendars go on sale for Black Friday, and get knocked down from $45 to $30 to $35. I think you're going to see some of these like strangely priced Marvel sets and things like that. I think those sets will get kind of knocked down. I would anticipate that on top of seeing these GWPs, hopefully still being available, but they've got several of them that are going to start being available as of this weekend on the 23rd. You're going to get the retro record player, the winter holiday train, and this Barracuda Seas that you can get for VIP points is going to be available as well. And I mean, all three of these things, like I've seen a train, a polybag train year in and year out. It seems like they finally, I feel like, did this train justice. Like they added more elements to it. They made it bigger. They put it in a box and they said, here you go. Like, and I finally feel like this train is worth spending the money on a set to get. And the question now becomes is whether or not these survive until, that Black Friday all the way to Cyber Monday. What do you think, especially if there's no sales? Let's go with your theory here. No sales. Are these GWPs and that VIP and that Insiders, that Barracuda Seas, are these surviving Insiders weekend?
Never.
You think they're gone before we even get to Black Friday?
Yeah.
That's
and by the way, sidebar, I looked on Insider weekend, whatever offer. The Hoopty is 30% off right now.
Oh, there it is. Get your Hoopty. Get your Hoopty on.
That's what I mean. I think it's literally happening right now and not happening Black Friday weekend.
Yeah. Get your Hoopty. Go get your Hoopty. This is the time to strike. That set's done. That set's gone. Like and that's what I keep thinking is that they're going to start rolling out some of these sales probably starting this weekend. just to offload that inventory. And you're going to find them not even just here. You're going to find them at Target. You're going to find them at Kohl's. You're going to find them, at Barnes and Noble. You're going to find them wherever you can find Lego. You're going to find these sales. So start checking this weekend, get those pre-Black Friday weekend sales. But I'm with Brian. I think if you are in the market for these GWPs, especially that record player, you better be willing to drop some coin this weekend and get your double points. Here's the deal. Go buy some sets, go get your double points this weekend, right? And then use those double points to go buy your endurance on Black Friday. That's what you do. That's how we shift this, ladies and gentlemen, is you're going to use those points to go buy one of the best Black Friday Lego releases that they've done in recent history. Brian, I need you to wake up and look at this beautiful ship. Look at this beautiful ship. Oh my God. They did a announcement event where they showed off. They had the designer come in. They showed it off. They were in a Lego store. And once again, I can't even remember the manager's name, but they had the store manager there, Brian, like basically carrying the entire broadcast. And I'm giving it up to that store manager from the Lego store there. I think they were in Germany, I think. But my gosh, he flat out brought the entertainment, the excitement, and everything. Brian could care less about this ship. I'm telling Brian, listen to me. This would look so good in your brand new living room, right? That you're now an adult with. It's
I already have a plan for that.
It's an adult. It's an adult display toy, Brian. That's how you invite the target demographic over, and they are enamored with the size of your ship.
Continue.
The endurance is launching on Black Friday. I know myself. I'm day one. I'm not even getting this thing online. I'm going to the Lego store on Black Friday and I'm picking this bad boy up. I'm that excited about this endurance ship. The Titanic is one of my favorite builds of all time. And this is basically just a smaller version of that. And I'm hoping it recaptures the same experience with the micro builds and everything going on inside of it. And I'm so excited about this model ship that pays homage to Sir Ernest Shackleton's famous Antarctic expedition. I can't talk today. Boy, these ships and icebergs, man, they don't go well together, do they? But the cool thing with this is it does come with an exclusive gift with purchase that is giving you a lifeboat, is giving you minifigs, because the set itself will not come with them, but the gift with purchase will. Very similar to like what they did with the Eiffel Tower, where we got Eiffel's apartment exclusively with it. And I feel like that's going to be one of those gift with purchases that you're going to kind of want, you're not going to want to miss out on if you are in the market for this particular set. Now, it's not coming at a cheap price. It's $270 US, but it's a gorgeous model, absolute, just beautiful model. And this set redirected my entire build lineup for the end of the year for me. Like, I kind of had an idea of where I wanted to go with some of my live stream builds on Twitch and things, and this ship coming out has completely redirected my focus because I'm that excited about it. And I'm not a sailor by any means, but I do love boats. I've been on boats since I was a kid, and it's just, I don't know, there's just something about these boat model sets that just do it for me. But you don't feel this way with these sets.
Oh, you're talking to me. This to me comes off as a super boring set, topic, everything. It does not pique my interest even a little bit. And, I'm sure there's going to be people Black Friday who are goo goo gaga over it. and maybe I'm just sorely missing the mark. But when you compare it to an Avengers Tower, an AT-AT, and I'm not even saying like something licensed. I just mean something like whoa, that's just like whoa, cool, like unfathomably cool.
So,
maybe this is it for other people. It's just not it for me.
So okay, so that I want to ask you this question though. What designates an exciting build for you versus a boring build for you? Like what is it? What is that line? Where is that line?
I think it comes down to subject matter. So, if they had done the modular, which, would have been cool. I think that like something that, I mean, I get like this stands as something that is a one-off, that is impressive, that is very hype for certain people. It just isn't for me. Like,
so for you, subject really matters. What you and that's why you gravitate towards the Mario builds and things like that. Is that you resonate with the subject matter and
yeah.
He blames or labels me as Lego fan all the time, right? And I am, because I don't tend to fall into one specific category of, which to my detriment, of Lego theme, right? Like I branch out and I look for builds that excite me because of the build itself. I want to be jacked up and jazzed by the pieces that I'm putting together. I want to be excited because of a specific way that they handled, the style of the lifeboat, or how they're representing, this particular small thing, or how they're doing in this case, how they're doing the engine room, how they're making the what the mechanics are going to be to move the wheel, the boat wheel, to move the rudder. Like that stuff is going to intrigue me on a set like this over just your typical play set that has some minifigs and some play features and bells and whistles. Like that's why I tend to get excited about sets like this. Is I want to be entertained by the build, not by the subject.
Yeah, so it's just a difference of that. Then you're gonna love this. Like anybody who's in with that mentality, you're gonna love it. It just is not for me.
Yeah, and it's and it's how they handle the build too. Like there's been a lot of builds I've looked at, I've gone into and thought I'm gonna be severely entertained by it, and I was severely disappointed because the build itself was rough, felt awkward, felt odd, was finicky, whatever. And so, like, again, I've experienced Star Wars sets. Star Wars is one of my favorite franchises of all time, right? And I've gone into sets and I've walked away going, that was, a bunch of gray bricks. They didn't bring anything new to the table. It didn't really jazz me up, whatever. And that's where being just a fan of building is different than being a fan of the theme or the property or any of that stuff. So this set is specifically for somebody like me. This set is for somebody that doesn't fit into a specific niche of a theme from Lego. They just enjoy the building process of Lego, which is why one of the reasons I don't particularly love the botanical sets a lot of the times, because they're so repetitive. And it's like, once you see the way that they accomplished one of these so-called flowers or elements of that set, I don't want to do that 6 more times. Like, I'm good. Like, I got it. That was cool. Let's move on. But now I've got to do this repeatedly. It's like the new Christmas wreath, right? Like, I got it. Like, I don't need to do all of those branches, because it's...
Well, to be fair, so I was in Target yesterday, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, I want to get some, like, accessories for Christmas, for, out kitchen, living room, whatever. And I'm like, I want to get a wreath. There should be something for the countertop and for over here, whatever. And then I look around, and I'm like, oh, all the stuff I kind of want, there's a Lego version of it. So, like, instead of just buying that stuff, I should just have the Lego version. Like, oh, how cool would it be to have a little poinsettia on the table? Well, I'm probably gonna kill the plant. I want to do. Oh, there's a Lego version. Oh, I want a wreath on the door, but like most of these wreaths look like kind of, oh, there's a Lego version. What about something for the countertop where I can have it on set? There's a mini Christmas tree and a candle with the foliage. So like it's basically not this year, but next year it'll be like, here's all the Lego accessories, and then they can be, built on camera, obviously, but then accessories for the home. So I think from that standpoint, it's interesting, and they won't die like wreaths. Like real wreaths, I don't know if y'all know, they are very expensive, like stupid expensive. So I'd rather have a Lego version.
I mean, all the wreaths that we have for Christmas are fake anyway. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I look at maybe at some point in time, the wife really seemed to like the look of the wreath, at least from the images she has
I don't
seen.
like the orange slices in it. That's stupid.
I mean, it's a thing that people do. It's not, that wreath is just not, I honestly think that's going to be a Christmas set, which I don't miss out on most of them. That's going to be a set I feel like is going to kind of go away, and I'm going to pretend it didn't exist. Actually, a lot of the Christmas sets this year, I'm kind of like, I'm good. Like I don't need those kind of thing. What some people do really feel like they need, though, are all of these new Bricklink Designer Program sets that were just unveiled this week. Series 6 finalists have been revealed. We've got 5 new sets that will start crowdfunding in October of 2025. So plenty of time to go through their process of redesigning and figuring out how these elements need to work more appropriately with the designers that submitted them and all this and that, so they can be, become available. We have the Off-Road Adventure, the Art Factory, the Goldmine Expedition, Outlaw Forest Den, and oh God, I can't even say the word, the tree trail, the Sequoia Tree Trail. Do any of these stand out to you, Brian? That like, because obviously you look at something like the Goldmine Expedition, and that looks like the most intricate, the most involved set. But is that really the one that is sparking your interest?
I can't really say any of these are, thankfully. I mean, these are north of $150 each. Maybe not the Off-Road Adventure, but man, these are, dude, have fun. If you like any of these, I mean, the Outlaw Forest Den with the Wolfpack insignia stuff on it, that's kind of cool, especially with the minifigs that are going to be coming out for January 1st. So you're getting a little bit of that there. Very, a lot of these and a lot of the Bricklink Designer Program stuff, not all of it, comes off like, hey, this is way too big and niche for us to ever make a Lego set out of it, so we'll put it here. So generally speaking, none of them have piqued my interest, and none of these do. What about you?
Luckily, I still continue to not worry about these sets. And I think part of it is my perception as well, where I've heard enough people build them over the years where the build process is a little finicky and isn't necessarily the most enjoyable experience for them. And I don't know if that's a fair assessment, but that seems to be my perception of it. I don't know if that's gotten better in your opinion, from what you've heard, if that seems to be getting better. I think the Art Factory looks like it was designed straight out of the Muppets, or I'm sorry, the Sesame Street set. So I'm like, well, okay, we've seen that. Like that's kind of what it looks like, just with some better interior stuff going on, right? The Goldmine Expedition looks like every other Bricklink set out there, that the Fisherman Village or the Fisherman House or whatever. Like, it's just they all kind of look the same, and it's just like, at what point do these just start becoming kind of repetitive? In
big giant set with all these elements that will be $500.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like, it just, luckily, like I said, I'm not in that camp, and that helps me. There hasn't been a Bricklink set where I went, oh my God, I have to get that. Hopefully it
There
never
was
happens.
for me.
Well, it was the Mushroom House, right? Or whatever.
So what's funny is a bunch of people had the Mushroom House at Bricks and the Six. A lot of people, actually, like 6 different vendors had it for about 180 to 200 Monopoly money, aka 120 US to
Monopoly
140.
I love it.
I mean, it's all colored like Monopoly money. Like, and all the Canadians gave me flack all weekend because they're like, "Oh, all your dollars look the same color," and I'm like, "They have a different tint. This is literally Monopoly money. I don't know what this is worth." So, a lot of people had it, and I'm like, "Well, I can't justify buying a Lego set right out the gate when like I don't want to be in the hole immediately with like I don't know how the books are going to be received, whatever." And so I actually bought one of the only Winter Village sets I was missing, which was a gift with purchase last year. It's a Winter Village carriage, and it was a revamp of one that came out years ago that I luckily found, forever ago. And so as it turns out, I'm venting about this, like what's a good price? I'm trying to trade with people, nothing's happening. So I actually gave local brick shop a bunch of my sets that I had brought up with me to trade because nobody wanted to trade. I'm like, here, if you can sell these, whatever, we'll figure it out. And so I go up to the very end on Sunday and I'm like, are you selling anything? He's like, actually, yeah, I got your stuff right here. Merry freaking Christmas. And he actually bought it for me from one of the vendors.
What?
Local bought me this set. He didn't trade it. He just straight up bought it for me. And I gave him the warm embrace hug because I was so grateful for it. And this is the only of the BDP sets. I mean, controversial opinion here. The only one, along with now in Series 5, the Mushroom Village, which I'm obligated to get now.
Right.
That this could be an original Lego theme if Lego really wanted it to be. This really cutesy, colorful, fantasy, whatever theme. You could do this. You could totally do this. Everything else,
I mean,
comes off.
They might as well just do it and call it Smurfs.
I mean, it could, yeah, like it's Smurfs without it being Smurfs in a way. Like, I just think this is awesome. Like riding the snail with it's so cool. And the Mushroom Village is even cooler. So yeah, I'm going to be buying that, and with the Bricklink stuff, by the way, they don't charge your card until it ships. So you could pre-order it and then it just dings you, it'll ding me next October, which, I'll sell a couple books at that point. We'll figure it out. Right. So it's fine. So yeah, I'm super great. I'm going to show it off on
That's
stream.
the dangerous part of that Bricklink idea, though, is that you forget how much did you do?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, all of your Bricklink orders come due the same day.
Yeah.
Well,
like, what's really crazy is crowdfunding for Series 5 starts June 10th. They charge you in October, and then that's when Series 6 goes live.
Yeah.
So you're going to get charged and then potentially pre-order a new one in the same month. So about that.
Have fun with that. But, as our live chat is pointing out, until it slows down, until people stop, whatever, like stop buying this stuff, these things sell and they sell out. And they become highly sought after on the secondary market. So,
dude, people were buying them too, man. Like I was looking at all the vendors up there, and maybe it's because in Canada there's just not any other Lego conventions. Like they're rare items. They're super rare. They stand out with the all white box, and they're very minimalist. So when you see them, you're like, whoa, all right. So yeah.
Like I said, luckily nothing has caught my eye. I'm ready. I mean, honestly, the success of that. Of the Mushroom House, and then the Mushroom Village, just give us Smurfs. Just do it Smurfs. You don't need to create your own. We don't need a dream style type of theme for this thing. Whatever. Just give us Smurfs. Call it that. Make it what you want to make it. Put it out there, and then let it go gangbusters. Because it. And I feel like Smurfs has been one of those ones that's been in the ideas program for a while. Like everybody's trying to make one. It just never gets through.
Just think it's too old, like a Scooby-Doo. I think Scooby-Doo was a litmus test for like that Hanna-Barbera era of cartoons, and it just,
But you see something like the success of this, right, and the popularity of these mushrooms, and
that's relative to the BDP program, though. That's not like the actual market of Lego.
Yeah. Plus, there's a chance that Lego would dumb it down a little bit and, simplify it, and it wouldn't be as good as what that particular.
Yeah, like this is it's dollhouse style, but like, some of these details I feel like would not carry over. This is a 90, or I think it went for $90 or $100. So, you're looking at a Smurfs play set, which is more akin to like the juniors 4+ sort of thing is probably what it would be.
Yeah, right. Listen, while we were gone, there was a lot of news and nuggets and things like that kind of dropped on us. And we had a lot to cover in this episode. I sent a text message to Brian and I said, I need a 2-hour show.
Yeah. We normally do need a 2-hour show, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, we don't though, but it was at the point where it was like, if we let this stuff go for too much longer, it's gonna become irrelevant to us. So we have several things here on our list, and I would love our live chat to get involved, especially during our post show. So we're gonna be doing these post shows now. After the show is over, don't go anywhere. Hang around. You can chat with us. You can give us your thoughts on everything that we talked about. If you are in the live broadcast, we would love to hear from you guys about all of these things that we've covered, especially this particular segment that I'm calling Buy or Sell. And this is whether or not we can get Mr. Bricks O'Brien excited about some of the things that I'm going to list off, one of which is not going to be the endurance, because we already know he's selling that, and he's selling it greatly. So Mr. Bricks O'Brien, during our last little segment here of Buy or Sell, I'm gonna throw some things at you, and I want you to tell me if you're buying or selling, if you're excited or not excited about the following list, and why. First up, Mr. Bricks O'Brien. First up, the new Fountain Garden set has been officially revealed. Goes really well with the Tranquil Garden set that is already currently released. Are you buying or selling the Fountain Garden set, Brian?
Absolutely selling it. The Tranquil Garden makes sense for what it is supposed to represent. It being like one of those mini models you have on your table, like a Zen garden sort of a vibe. There's no subject matter. There's no inherent focus to the set. It seems like a chunk of a garden that got plopped out of nowhere. It doesn't feel complete or cohesive with the building that is not there. Compared to the Tranquil Garden, this is unbelievably inferior. I'm selling it.
He's selling it. I am buying that Fountain Garden because I own the Tranquil Garden, and I think they will look beautifully displayed together. And me and micro builds still go hand in hand like chocolate and peanut butter as far as I'm concerned. Series 27 minifigures. We got our new CMF line coming out, folks. Are we buying or selling the new Series 27?
Absolutely buying. How could you not be excited about some of these minifigures that are showcased? First of all, the Boogeyman as a Boogeyman. So I had to look up pictures of what is the Boogeyman? What is this thing? And I looked it up, and they look so creepy and demented and kind of and they made a mythological, like, horrific tale of a character look very cool and very original, like almost like a Sasquatch. I'm very in for that. The Wolfpack Beastmaster playing to that nostalgia, army building perfect. Lego and steampunk with the steampunk inventor. This has been overdue for many years. Maybe they'll make it into a theme. Who knows? Longboard piece is pretty cool. There's a plush toy collector, which, all right, you got me. Telescope Kid. That telescope piece, guys like Astro Canuck and many others are going to be all over. I'm very excited for that. We have a Cupid, so you need a new sig fig, Zachary. You need a new sig fig of Cupid right there. Jetpack Racer is that could be, any of these could be in their own theme. Realistically, that is a very cool minifigure. Hamster Costume Fan, 1000%. Crazy Cat Lover. We got a bunch of those in the Lego community. They're going to have to update their sig figs too. Pterodactyl Costume Fan. Same idea. Pirate Quartermaster. One of my mods has the daily bird he does every day. So anytime you get a new bird mold piece is very cool. These are all 10 out of 10 minifigures, man. There's not a dud here. I love all of these. Absolutely buy.
The longboard one is kind of a for me, but
it's kind of like it almost ticks a box that needed to be ticked a while ago of having a longboard piece, and that that kind of But I get you.
My DMs have been exploding since these were showcased because of that freaking Cupid thing. I don't know how. I have the feeling that I have people that are just going to start sending me Cupid minifigs going forward, which fantastic. Robert, Indiana's famous sculpture, the Love Art sculpture, is available currently for pre-order. Are we buying or selling the new Love sculpture set, Brian?
Selling, not because I don't like it, but because I got none of that in Boston. So I have no emotional connection to it. So it's a sell for me.
It is definitely a buy for me because there is an emotional connection for me. We have there's several of these Love sculptures around that Robert in Indiana did. We have one at our art museum in downtown Indianapolis. I am a little about it because the design, I'm assuming it was just a design issue. They elongated some of the letters a little bit more than they should have been, and it looks a little off to me, where you need to display it at an angle for the letters to look appropriate. If you display it flat, they are elongated and off. They don't look right compared to the actual, which I had this problem with the Rolling Stone logo. It just didn't look right. You know what I mean? And I'm having the same issues I have with this. I want it because of the emotional connection I have to it. I've shot this particular sculpture so many times in my own town for different projects, so I have a connection to it. But the overall design of it, I feel like is unfortunately a miss with this. Horizon Adventures is officially dropped, and we are officially getting a Lego set series. Are we buying or selling the Lego Horizon Adventures set?
Sell, because I got a chance to play it at Bricks in the Six, and we had a PlayStation set up right next to where my booth was. Played it for about 2 hours, and it is unbelievably repetitive, which I get some kids may like it being, very predictable in that way. I am not that way. I like having different challenges and puzzles, but it is unbelievably repetitive for my liking. And, Horizon in general cannot connect to. It always comes out around the same time as another Zelda game, and I always pick Zelda over Horizon, so that is a easy sell for me.
Sell. Horizon, first of all, is a dated game, and once again, Lego not really checking their release schedule here, but they released the Lego version of this game well beyond when that game was extremely popular, and the set itself doesn't come out until freaking March. So you're talking,
does it really?
So you're talking about an even additional amount of time before we even get the Lego version of this particular set. Makes no sense to me. Once again, Lego, check your freaking calendars. There's a reason you are given them in grade school. The new botanicals have been unveiled. Brian, are we buying or selling these new botanical sets that they just announced?
Unless they are Christmas oriented, it is a sell for me.
This might be one of the first botanical sets since the tiny plants that I am super excited about, because they do not seem repetitive, and they have their own container, their own vase. And that was the big turning point with these botanicals, is when Lego said, we're going to make them their own inclusive set, so you don't have to go out and try to find ways to display them after the fact with your own whatever. We're going to give you the container you need, brick built version of it. Boom, put them in your container and display them on their shelf. And for people like me that can't ever seem to keep plants alive, once again, botanicals are a nice option. I've just never been particularly enamored with putting them together because of how repetitive they are. But these look a lot less repetitive than some of our previous iteration botanical set. So very, very excited about these botanicals. Would I get them day one? Probably not. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, thank you for another fantastic show. You're back live today, Wednesday, over on Twitch. What you got cooking over there, Brian?
I'm going to be talking about my trip in a little more detail, but also doing a Super Mario Party Jamboree collaboration with 3 other creators across all the platforms. So it's going to be an action-packed night of losing friendships in Mario Party.
I love that. That's how you crush friendships. Mario Party and GoldenEye. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, for absolutely everything. Guys, don't forget, next Wednesday, we got a big show, holiday shopping extravaganza show for your Black Friday sales and deals. I'm giving Brian $1,000 to come up with a Christmas wish list, Black Friday shopping wish list. And we've got a big announcement to start the stream next Wednesday. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the YouTube-y things, and do all the podcasting things. Find us on all the podcasting channels, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all of those stuff. If you are with us in the live stream today on YouTube, stick around. We got a post show coming up for you after this is done to discuss all the stuff we talked about. Until next week, everybody. Bye.